If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself. Welcome to the Bitcoin Basics podcast with your hosts, Faris and Gordon from CoinCompass.com, enabling you to safely buy and securely store your Bitcoins. All resources are in the show notes and description, including our disclaimer. Visit BitcoinBasicsPodcast.com to subscribe and discover other free content.
G'day everyone, welcome to another Bitcoin Basics podcast with your host, Gordon, that's me, and Faris. Faris, it's been a long time since we've had our 30 days of Bitcoin. We are on day 27, so we're almost there. How are you going?
I'm good, thank you, Gordon. It's good to be back on here.
Excellent. So before we get started, we'll do our usual proof of recording. So the Bitcoin price, according to the Clark Moody dashboard, I have no idea where they get the price from. I think it's an average, is $11,998 US dollars. The current block height is 643,035. If you have no idea what we're talking about, we are actually time stamping this episode on the Bitcoin blockchain. So what are we doing today for us? What's the discussion?
So today's question, Gordon, is regarding Bitcoin and altcoins. And this is one that has been proposed to us in the past, but it is worth revisiting. Do you want to post a question for us, please?
Yeah, how about I just play it instead?
Is there a reason I should invest in Bitcoin rather than another type of cryptocurrency?
So this is a fairly common question that I get all the time. Should I buy Bitcoin? What about these other 5,000 altcoins? Should I put all my life savings into them?
So I suppose we don't know in this case, but usually you want to understand where the question's coming from. Are you looking at speculating short-term, or are you looking at a long-term hold? People have profited from speculating in altcoin short-term, and they've lost money as well. It's one of those things where you want to have your target set in place. You can't really do it live because it's such a fast-moving, volatile market. So yeah, if you're speculating short-term, you can trade by altcoins versus dollar or Bitcoin. Most of them will be against Bitcoin on exchanges like Binance. If you're looking at a long-term store of value investment, I've only taken the liberty of looking at Bitcoin because I just haven't seen a store of value proposition from any of the altcoins. When I say store of value, what I like about Bitcoin is simply supply and demand. And to me, that is the only irrefutable law of economics is supply and demand. And with Bitcoin, we know that the supply is capped. And demand is still very low compared to alternative investments.
So this question did mention investing. So I'm going to assume it's not talking about trading, day trading or even trend trading or anything like that. It's investing. So let's assume at least a couple of years. Is there any value in investing in altcoins long term?
I actually can't answer that simply because there's still well over 1,000 altcoins. And when you talk about investing, I'm presuming you want to do your due diligence and you want to look at fundamentals. So I know what Bitcoin offers, and especially in these times of flight to safety, negative interest rates around the world, sovereign debt crisis, Bitcoin is a very good alternative. The other coins, I just haven't had the time to look into them. There may be some technological innovations, blockchain related in these, and we have spoken about these, but that's where I'd probably ask you the question, Gordon. Have you come across any fundamental developments in any of these altcoins which you think, hey, this is a worthwhile opportunity? Because for me, sorry, before you answer that, I treat Bitcoin as digital gold in a way. It is a safe haven store of value. Any of these altcoins, I treat them as a company. You're looking at what service are they launching and is there a market for said service? So, and I just don't have the time or an inclination to do that kind of research.
Neither do I, but I have in the past. I think the nuanced answer is if you're looking at a portfolio, and by the way, neither Faris or myself are financial advisors, so that disclaimer there as well. If you're looking at a balanced portfolio, it would be crazy to put 100% in Bitcoin. You should diversify. So you diversify, as Faris said, in some safe haven assets like Bitcoin and gold and whatnot. There are other assets, obviously stocks, bonds, equities, property, and all that kind of stuff. So diversification is the key. So let's say you had a portfolio with 1% cryptocurrency. Now, should that 1% of cryptocurrency be completely Bitcoin? Should it be 90% Bitcoin and 10% altcoins? That's obviously up to you. But when we're talking about investing, I guess if we're talking about fundamental analysis, then there are altcoins that don't compete with Bitcoin in terms of money, in terms of that store of value that Faris talked about, that do actually have value. And they have value because there's innovation. Now, the problem with that is that 99.99% of them have a PDF or a white paper, and they're producing vaporware, essentially. And so you may be lucky to buy, the next Apple, Tesla, or whatever, but more chances than not, you're going to choose one of those 5,000 altcoins that just simply pump and dump or go nowhere. So you're basically holding the bag. Another way to answer it is simply to have a look at CoinMarketCap, which I've done in the past. So coinmarketcap.com from 2013, and I will list the top 10 coins. So number 1, Bitcoin. Number 2, Litecoin. PP Coin, Namecoin, Feathercoin, Terracoin, Devcoin, Freya Coin, Nova Coin, and CHN Coin. So in my mind, that's a good way to answer, well, okay, Litecoin's there, and there are a couple other coins that are sort of hanging around, but what coins from the top 10 from 7 years ago are still around today? And in my mind, that's really the ultimate answer.
Yeah, and that's something I'll agree with. And I just listened to a podcast where they're talking about the emergence of 2 other types of coins. And this is cryptocurrency coins that are sovereign nation based, so digital state coins, so like the Federal Reserve dollar, the Chinese renminbi as a digital coin, and also talking about stable coins. So these are owned by corporations. But at the end of the day, these may be means of exchange, so ways of buying something, but they won't be a store of value because you're not going to put your trust in a government or in a corporation. It's just a different way of buying a fiat currency or buying a share.
Yeah, I agree with that. And obviously, there is a big difference between buying into something like Bitcoin, which is not a company, it's not a government, it's not a third-party entity or whatever that. So the analogy we use is you're investing in the internet. We haven't been able to really do that until now. And buying into some of these other altcoins that Faris mentioned before, then they're really, okay, you're buying the token, but you're really buying the company. So it's more like buying a stock, and that just adds a whole new layer of complexity. So you may have the best company in the world developing stuff, but their token is completely useless. And vice versa. You have a company that's hopeless and it's one guy in his garage not doing anything, and yet the token is completely pumping. So that's a long way of saying buy Bitcoin. If you wanted to speculate, obviously that's up to you. But yeah, I wouldn't advise buy Bitcoin. And just keep it for the long term. Don't try and day trade it or even swing trade it. Keep it, look in 5 years' time, see what the price is.
Thank you, Gordon, and thank you for that question. And just a reminder, if you want us to answer any of your questions about Bitcoin, they could be simple, they could be complex, please send them to us. And we have actually addressed gold, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies in some detail. Just go to our YouTube channel, coincompass.com/YouTube. And if you do want to pose a question, coincompass.com/ask.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.
Thanks for watching or listening. Please visit coincompass.com/free to register to our socials and discover other free content. Subscribing, liking, and following helps this content remain ad-free. Until next time.